We have the pleasure of being joined by Edouard Gosselin, CEO of Kobo Resources, a growth-focused gold exploration company with a compelling new discovery in Cote d'Ivoire, one of West Africa's most prolific and untapped gold districts. So, Ted, you've just completed an oversubscribed capital raise and now have an extra 7.4 million CAD in the bank. What are your priorities with the capital? And congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was a tough ride to get there, but we finally did it, and we're happy to have that kind of money in the bank. Initially, we were aiming for 5 and ended up with 7.4. So that's fantastic. So the cash that we're going to be using mainly is going to be dedicated to the Kossou license, which is our prime target right now, where we've invested several millions of dollars up to date. And we just released yesterday some results on our first diamond drill program. We completed 4,400 meters. We released the results of 15 holes so far. There's another 10 holes that are going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So a good portion of that money is going to be allocated to Kossou to pursue an expanded drill program after we analyze the results and set the plan for the fall. Then we anticipate investing approximately $400,000 to $500,000 on our other license in the eastern part of the country, which is the Kote license. That's about twice the size of Kossou. The terrain is totally different there. So we just completed a mag survey last fall on that whole 300 square kilometers. And now we're going to be embarking on a more detailed geochem program on that. And the rest of the money, well, obviously, we intend to look at other opportunities. We do have 2 pending applications in country in the same neighborhood as the Kote license in the eastern part. And those 2 applications are side by side. So we have approximately just a little under 700 square kilometers with those 2 licenses there. And we've been informed by the government lately that we needed to update the applications in our budgets because they intended to allocate us those other licenses. So hopefully by the end of the year, if not early next year, the first quarter, we'll have 4 licenses under our belt.
Excellent. So, a major European conglomerate, Mota-Engil, subscribed for a significant portion of your deal, taking their stake to 10% on an undiluted basis. Tell us how the relationship with their subsidiary, Luso Global Mining, started and where you see it going.
We're glad to have that partner on board with us. How it got started, it was a referral from one of our current shareholders. And so we got a name and a phone number, and then it was Paul and I who did the rest. And we sat down with we did a presentation. We opened up the data room. We've had a lot of communications and discussions. And then we met with them in Toronto to discuss business strategy, where we were going, what they would expect if they wanted to come in from us, and what they brought to the table for us. So we were glad to have them on board with us and have them invest and take an important position with a 9.9%. And Mota-Engil, through their subsidiary Luso is the mining arm, if you wish, of the conglomerate. That division is tasked to invest into either gold properties or other metals. They are really agnostic in terms of the metallurgy, but the investment in Kobo is strategic in the sense that they want us to continue to do what we were doing, to look at different opportunities and grow the company with a multitude of gold properties, mainly in Cote d'Ivoire, but also outside West Africa and probably some other assets somewhere on the continent. Because when you look at the Mota-Engil, the way it's built, it's a company that has been in existence for more than 70 years, has a presence in Africa for more than 70 years, is in 22 countries, 50,000 employees. And they are your typical EPC company, engineering, procurement, construction company. They are among the top 20 in Europe. and they are currently the mining contractor for 9 mines in 8 different countries in Africa currently. So they have a good footprint in Côte d'Ivoire because they are the mining contractor of the Lafigué mine that is operated by Endeavour Mining. And they also are the mining contractor for the Sagala mine, which is operated by Fortuna Silver. So we see that relationship evolving in the future, definitely to the advantage of Kobo and obviously them as a shareholder. What I can tell you is that many times in the past when Paul and I would be finished our days of bushwhacking and looking for outcrops and rocks and whatnot in the Kossou area, and we'd take a break in the evening after supper, have a beer, and we'd discuss strategy. We always said to ourselves, it would be great if one day we were able to find that kind of white knight that would come along and give you the financial strength, and backing in order to move forward your business plan, but also a partner that would respect you at the same time. And so a really team player. And I strongly believe this is what we got with Mota-Engil for the future for Kobo.
Right. So, Ted, I wanted to pivot and talk about your region. So, remind us why Cote d'Ivoire is such an active gold district for large and small miners.
You got to remember, historically, Cote d'Ivoire has been primarily an agricultural country. With its first president, when it became independent from the French colonization, Houphouët-Boigny believed that the prosperity of the country went through agriculture, especially cocoa, coffee production, and other types of fruits. They are the number one in the world producer with 40% of the production. So, and the neighboring countries like Ghana, Burkina Faso, Mali, etc., were all developing in the mining industry, but he didn't want to do that. So the new generation of politicians that came along, I would say in the turn of the 2000s and so on, saw the opportunity to capitalize on the extraction and the mining industry if they went forward with the modernization of their mining code. Because when you look at the Birimian Formation of West Africa, 35% of it is hosted within the boundaries of Côte d'Ivoire. So if you go back to 2014 when they brought in the new mining code, and you look at the historical production of Ghana, Mali, Burkina, Guinea, compared to Côte d'Ivoire was a laggard, was way below. And at that time, they were probably producing on average about 22 tons of gold a year with only 4 or 5 mines. And so they modernized the mining code in order to attract foreign capital and make it easier to come and invest. And there was a lot of prospective ground because it was underexplored compared to their neighbors. They were 25 years behind on them in terms of development. So we got the idea. I had been involved primarily before, a couple of years before, and then I met Paul in 2014, and Paul said, Ted, he says, this is a great opportunity. Let's try and get in and get some ground. So from there on, and you push the button fast forward, you now have 7 operating mines and probably 3 coming online by 2026. So they'll have 10 operating mines. They will have increased their gold production from 22, 24 tons to basically 52 to 55 tons a year. So they've come along quite a bit. The other thing is they've also heavily invested in the last couple of years in infrastructure, road building, hospitals, education, and stuff like that. So they've really decided to modernize their country. The GDP of the country is on average 6+% in the last several years. So the population is young. 75% of it is 35 years of age or under. So there's a lot of talent available. And the other thing is Canada was a kind of a precursor on this. There's a tax treaty between Canada and Côte d'Ivoire since 1985 in place. And in 2013, the Conservative government signed a FIPA, which is a Foreign Investment Protection Agreement with Cote d'Ivoire. So as an outside investor, if ever an industry per se was nationalized within the country, there's a mechanism to be compensated. So that's great. And the other thing is, politically speaking, the country is quite stable, and it is a safe environment in which to operate compared to the neighbors to the north. So more and more today, companies, whether junior or larger, are looking for opportunities in Cote d'Ivoire. Even drillers are moving their head offices from other countries into Cote d'Ivoire because they see the opportunity unfolding. So I think we're in the right spot at the right time. We were lucky to get some good ground, especially Kossou, which is next door to an existing mine. We're only 9 kilometers away. So, in real estate, we talk about location, location, location. I mean, you couldn't find anything better in terms of this prospect. 9 kilometers away, no money to invest in infrastructure. Because electricity is there, where there's a power dam that sits between us and the mine. So we're basically a brownfield project, within an existing license. So it's a fantastic opportunity for us and for our shareholders.
Right. An incredible setup for Kobo in a very dynamic gold district. And as a final question, tell us about exploration targets and catalysts, the things you're most excited about in the coming 12 months.
Specifically on the Kossou license, like I said before, we just completed 4,400 meters, give or take, of diamond drill after a successful RC campaign last year of 5,900 meters. Mm-hmm. So we came out with results yesterday. We've got some more results coming in a couple of weeks. And then our plan is to drill another 10 to 12,000 meters on the Kossou license this fall. And we hope that the results are at the rendezvous. Next year, we would most probably drill between 40 to 50,000 meters on that property in order to, by the end of 25, get it close to an inferred resource estimate, at that level. So we're excited about the 3 zones that we've attacked so far, whether it's the road cut zone, the Katy zone, or the Jagger zone. But there's also an additional zone that is highly prospective, which we call the contact zone, and that's the zone that sits between the sediments and the volcanic package. Mm-hmm. And our structuralist seems to indicate to us that seems to represent a major fault where there could be lots of mineralization. So we're extremely excited of what Kossou could unfold for us in the very near future. And obviously, we've got the Kobe license, which we think could result in something quite interesting as well. So all in all, we're quite excited, and we're looking at other opportunities. Having this cash on board, having this partner on board, we can now unfold opportunities that before we would turn down because we didn't have, the backup or the wherewithal in order to take them on. And so this capital raise and this partner totally changes the game for us going forward.
Great. Once again, it was excellent talking to you. Thanks.